Episode number 36, December 31st, 2011.
Welcome to the XJ Talk Show. And now here's your host, Tony Mutteroy on xjtalk.com.
Yes, that's me. And we're doing video tonight. Not doing the Ustream simul broadcast thing, but doing a little video for our YouTube friends, assuming that there are some out there that only watch the YouTube video. Bumped it up a notch doing high def. And it's the first go at it, so, who knows? It looks good, but I don't know if I've got it set right or not. I'll know more after I post it up on YouTube. And hopefully the sound will be a little better on the YouTube broadcast than what it has been. Something comparable to what we have here on the show. Anyway, so last show of 2011. And if Mayan prophecies are correct, we may not have too many shows in 2012. Well, maybe some in 2012, but certainly not in 2013. I guess the number 13 wasn't unpopular back then because 2013 makes a lot more sense for the end of the world. Anyway, we'll get started here in just a minute.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Okay, so first off, I want to apologize for this. This is in black and white. See, I thought I'd make one of these little things. I think they're called flags, microphone flags. And I didn't want to spend the $80 that they sell these things for, so I made me one. And I put little XJ Talk logo on there, but I'm apologizing for the part that it's black and white. And I know you guys on the podcast can't see this, but if you check out the YouTube video, then you'll see what I'm talking about. If you can imagine, if you have an XJ Talk sticker, one of the nice color ones, just imagine that in black and white. I don't have color ink right now, and it hasn't been on the thing to do list to buy color ink. Have you guys priced the color ink for HP printers? Good God! But I guess they got to make their profit where they can, and truth be told, the printers are very nice, and the is very clear and crisp. I just wish that it wasn't $30 for color ink. So, as I said in the opening, this is December 31st, the last day of the year, and you might actually hear the fireworks being popped in the background. So, I'm not under fire. It's not a random and cyclical drive-by shooting. They're actually popping fireworks outside. So if you hear that, just consider it part of the festive occasion. So anyway, don't really have a lot planned. Just wanted to throw out another podcast, let you guys know what's going on with xjtalk.com. The website, the forum. Hopefully you've been there. Hopefully you've joined and you are participating. And I used to hate that as a kid. Tony, we need you to participate. And that just made me not want to participate even more. But I guess because I've put a lot of time and effort, and also to the amount of fun that I have on the site, I guess that's the reason why I say you guys should participate. They often said it. I didn't often say it. That's why I would like for you guys to participate. It's just a lot more fun, and it's a lot more engaging when people are there making comments and sharing their adventures and problems that they have with their Jeep. You know, it's a mechanical device. No matter how good the design, you're always going to have some issue with a mechanical device, and that's the beauty, is that we can get on there and figure out what the problem is and hopefully get you back on the road or back off-road. Anyway, get on the site and post. Make comments. Give some people a hard time. Have some fun. I mean, that's what the ultimate goal is anyway, is to have fun. So recently, we gave away, we did our third contest, or I guess it's not really a contest, the third giveaway. We completed that, and that was for a Smitty-built 8,000-pound winch. And that went to a young man, what is it, Jeep XJ95, I believe. And I think his profile says he's 20 years old. So what a great item to receive, and it was awarded on Christmas Day. I don't think he's actually received it yet. I haven't seen anything from him, but the shipping company was trying to contact him about getting it there to him. Got that off of Amazon.com because shipping was free. Price was good too. So we were very happy to do that. And in November, we gave away a new item from DetoursuSA.com called the Knuckle Bone. And the Knuckle Bone is a tire carrier that fits in your 2-inch receiver trailer hitch on the back of your Jeep. And I don't know. I guess it really depends on the vehicle, but since the mounting is a kind of a universal mount, it might work on other vehicles as well. But you could call Mark at DetoursuSA.com and ask him about that. But it's a really cool way of having a spare tire carrier on your vehicle, and not having to go to the expense or the expense of buying a swing away tire carrier or building your own. And it's very affordable, and because it's not a lot of metal there, it doesn't cost that much to ship. So it's a plus, a win-win. Then going back to October, we did something a little different in October. We had some gift certificates from JeepinOutfitters.com, and I think we had about $300 worth of gift certificates that we gave away that month. And on top of that, our main giveaway item was, again, going back to Detours, they make great products. A pair of A-pillar light mounts and a pair of KC highlighter or highlight daylighter 100-watt KC lights. So we had 3 months of giveaways, all designed to stimulate some interest in xjtalk.com. Getting people on there, getting people all designed to get them to participate a little bit more in the site, and making it more interesting for everybody there. And also, too, I think people have a bit of a hard time getting in and starting to post. You never know what the click or what the people on the site are like, and how they're going to react to you. How they're going to treat you. Are you going to get flamed? Are you going to get treated like an idiot? And I know I've mentioned this before. That's one of the reasons why we started xjtalk.com, was we didn't like seeing that on the other sites. And we wanted to have a Jeep site and have all the good aspects, the information, the friendship, giving each other a hard time, of course, but respectfully. Hell, we even have a politics and religion section, and nobody's died yet. So that tells you right there that you can get on and express yourself on xjtalk.com, and you'll get some opinions, but it's unlikely that anybody is going to shut you down. It's unlikely that anybody's going to flame you out. And it's very natural and normal for people not to like conflict. And but hopefully we've created a site where you don't have to worry about that. So if you've been looking for a site that you would like to get on and have some fun and talk about the things that happen to your Jeep, maybe you think they're too simple. Maybe you have a check engine light and you're not quite sure how to handle it, and you think that's some basic things that anybody should know, but you don't. Well, we all had to learn at some point, and the XJ Talk isn't the short bus of Jeep sites, but I guess kind of in a way it is, because we're going to make sure that everybody gets their question answered. If you don't, raise your hand, make some noise. Say, hey, I asked this question, I didn't get an answer. We do get a lot of posts, so sometimes we do miss things. But we even have a no replies menu item so that people can click on the no replies and see the posts that have not had any replies yet, and hopefully catch up on that where somebody has been left out and had their question answered. We even have a moderator that made a suggestion that we create a forum where when people would like to do something, change the fluid in their transmission, for example, that he would actually do that and do a write-up on it. And that way it would be kind of a made-to-order thing. And that's a Big Jim 350 that did that. Actually, that reminds me.
I just wanted to say XJ Talk is the best fucking site in the fucking world. And if you think you know a better fucking site, fuck you. By the way, this is Big Jim 350. Bye.
Thank you. That's Big Jim. So Big Jim will do a write-up for you on what the things that you would like to do to your Jeep. He's got a Jeep, and he pretty much has to do all of it to his Jeep. So he'll do a write-up. So get on there, look for the forum where you can request a write-up, and Big Jim will help you out. Chances are good that somebody else has already done it, and you may not even have to wait around for Big Jim to do the write-up. We may be able to find that even on another site, and get you back up and going on your Jeep that much faster. There are other Jeep sites out there, so we're not trying to pretend that there's not. Anyway, so that's what we've got going. What we had going on in the last 3 months as far as giveaways. And if you're new to XJ Talk, maybe you're listening to this podcast several months down the road, and you go, man, I missed out. I didn't get in on that. What the hell? Well, it's not over. It's just over for now. Or as I said in the post I just posted a few minutes ago, it's not over. It's just sleeping. We're going to have more giveaways, but 3 solid months of excellent giveaway items. I think we need a little rest. Also, too, we don't want you guys getting spoiled. We don't want you thinking that, hey, man, where's my stuff? I should be getting something. And, wow, they gave away a winch. Next thing they should be giving away is a Jeep or an airplane or maybe a yacht. Oh, speaking of which, if you'd like to help support xjtalk.com and this podcast, you can do so very easily for really no money out of your pocket at all. Just anytime that you're going to make a purchase on Amazon.com, you can go over to xjtalk.com. On the very front page, you'll see a little banner there for Amazon.com. Just click that banner. It'll take you to Amazon.com. You'll log into your Amazon.com account, make your purchase, and we'll get a little percentage off of that. Now, it's a little percentage off of their portion, not yours. So in other words, you don't pay any different than what you were going to pay before. So it cost you nothing. You were going to buy something at Amazon.com anyway. It's certainly going to cost you for that item, but the money that comes to xjtalk.com didn't cost you a dime. Literally, not even a dime. We get a few percent of whatever the sale is, depending on the sale item. So, obviously, if you're going to buy a yacht or house, I'm not sure if they sell houses on Amazon. I'm sure that's just something that they haven't started yet. But that would be a bigger percentage, not a bigger percentage. That would be a bigger dollar amount for xjtalk.com. So we want to encourage you, if you're looking to buy maybe a fleet of Boeing 747s for your airlines, do it on Amazon.com and make sure you click that banner ad before you do it. We'll really appreciate it. And actually, I guess we probably would give away Jeeps at that point because we'll afford it. Yeah, I know. As my wife would say. And then you woke up. Anyway, so let's see what else we got going on. I'll tell you about a couple other websites that we have going. We have this is kind of a rejuvenated site that we had up for a while. Didn't really get a lot of interest, and we let the license lapse on the software, and being good legal-minded people, we didn't want to keep the website up and not have a legal license for the software. So we let it go down for maybe a year or so. But recently we've brought it back up, and that means that you have the ability to get on there now and, I don't know, have fun with some other Jeeps, some other Jeepers, some other type Jeepers. Anyway, Jeepers. I wonder if Jeepers Creepers is available. Anyway, so the site is WranglerTalk.com. It originally was xjtalk.com, and had in mind what it would be as just a series of talk sites like TJ Talk, YJ Talk, CJ Talk. And so we started with TJ Talk, and we thought that it might be that it was too narrow an audience for the TJs. They were built for quite a while, and a very robust vehicle. From my understanding, is more robust than the new JKs, and certainly had the 4.0 liter engine, which I think has been one of the downsides to the JKs is power and torque on those engines. Of course, they were trying to go along with the government's wishes for better gas mileage. But anyway, so we changed the name to WranglerTalk.com, and that encompassed the a wider audience, the TJ, the JK, the YJ, and just like XJ Talk, you do not have to have a Jeep to join the site. Everybody's welcome to come in and join in the fun and join in the information. Obviously, if you don't have a Jeep Cherokee, the amount of information you get from the site may not be very useful, because that's primarily what we're going to be talking about. We talk about other things as well. Man cannot live by Jeep alone. So anyway, there's Wrangler Talk, and there's another hobby that I have, which is amateur radio, ham radio, and I've been an amateur radio operator since I was 16. So many, many years ago, I got into that hobby, and recently, there's ham sites out there. The thing that has always kind of turned me off to the ham radio sites is they seem to be very, very is stodgy. Is that even a word? Old guys not wanting to do anything new, which weirdly wasn't my understanding of amateur radio anyway. It was something that was supposed to be new and innovative and interesting and cutting edge. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with the free email system Juno. There was quite a few of these, and at the time, admittedly, they were retired, and they were trying to minimize their cost, but they were using the Juno email system because it was free, or nearly so. I think it was free, actually. But as part of that, Juno made sure that the bandwidth that you used on emails was very, very low. And I guess the overriding sense I got was that they didn't want to have, Juno was text only. You couldn't do pictures. You certainly couldn't do video, and it was designed for a dial-up internet world, not high-speed internet. And I'm a member of some mailing lists, and I've been on some forums, and that type of mentality seems to pervade the high speed world. Now, some of these hams, and I'm just going to say older hams because I think that the majority of them are older hams. I understand that they may be living out in the sticks and maybe still be on dial-up. But come on, guys. It's 2011, getting ready to be 2012. High-speed internet is available on a smartphone. I would like to be able to see pictures, videos, and hey, maybe some sound with that video would be great too. And that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and started up an amateur radio site. You know, when you start a site, it's like starting a business. Most likely it's going to fail. The nice thing is it really doesn't cost anything to keep it up, other than maybe some time. So anyway, I was trying to think of a name, and you know, if you guys have ever tried to buy a domain name, buying is easy. Finding one that is not in use, finding a domain name that's not in use, is more difficult. So I had to go for a bit of a stretch. Back whenever I started amateur radio, the way it worked back then, back in the olden days, you got your first license was a novice license. Now, you could test up further, but I guarantee you, at 16, I wasn't going any further than the novice for my first license. And anyway, I got my novice license, and as a novice, you could send Morse code, send and receive Morse code on the HF bands, high-frequency bands. So that meant I had to learn Morse code, or the two-letter designator for that is CW, continuous wave. So I had to learn Morse code. I had to learn Morse code and had to pass a test. I had to be able to send Morse code to pass that test and receive it. The sending is easy. The receiving is more difficult. Anyway, one of the things that you would do, there was all these little tricks, little shortcuts, and little abbreviations that you would use in Morse code. Why? Because nobody wants to send Morse code. Now, there's some people out there that really, really enjoy it. But there are a lot of little tricks, shortcuts, and stuff. And one of the things that you would do whenever you were involved in a conversation, a QSO, on the HF bands, you would, in CW, you would send, you would send the information you were going to send to the other person. And then if they received it, if they were able to understand what you had sent to them in Morse code, the first thing they would do is send you the letter R. Did. And because of the signals would go up and down depending on band conditions, they would usually send it 3 times. So you would you would hear did. And that would mean that they received everything that you had sent them. Now, quite often, I guess it got to be a habit, and people would send that R, 1 or 3 of them, and then start asking you questions about what you said. So obviously they didn't receive everything that you had sent them. So I think that sometimes people were just, copying what other people did and didn't really understand the meaning of it. Just to fit in, just so they wouldn't be an oddball out. So anyway, I thought about it while I was looking for names for the new ham website that I was going to do, and I thought about it. And went, hey, wait a minute! Instead of like ham talk or radio talk, or going along with the talk theme, which was my first choice, I really couldn't find anything. So I went, hey, wait a minute! What about R? And R.com, that would be kind of hard to get. That would be a 1-letter domain, and the 3-letter domains are impossible. And I'm not even sure they even have 1-letter domains. But certainly, the Morse code, when you write Morse code, they have specific ways of writing the periods and the I don't know if they're minuses or underlines. They have specifics of writing those out. I guess it would be phonetically. And I thought about that R that we would send, on our first transmission after listening to the other person's transmission. And I went, that kind of makes sense, because it's like, we're a forum, an amateur radio forum, and when you post, we're going to acknowledge what you said, and then we're going to respond to you. So I thought, 3 R's, rrr.com, that might be available. I certainly doubt it, but certainly the phonetic spelling of R in Morse code who in their right mind would actually register a domain like that? Me. It was there. So I looked up so I could make sure that it was correct, the phonetic spelling for the letter R in Morse code. And that is D as in dog, I as in India. So DI, the minus sign, da, which is DAH, that would be the little minus or the little hyphen, and then dash dit. So it's ditadit, ditdadit.com. Wow, ditdadit.com. That doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? That sounds a little confusing. But interestingly enough, it's not DIT, DAH, DIT. It's DI, because the first dot of Morse code, like the dot and the dash, the first dot phonetically is or spelled in a text way is just DI. So it's DI dash DAH dash DIT dot COM. Basically R.com, but in Morse code. Written Morse code. Are you confused yet? I have had on Twitter, because we're on Twitter with Facebook. I'm sorry, I want to talk about the Facebook too. We're on Twitter with XJ Talk, Wrangler Talk, and Didadit. So one of the hams that friended us on Twitter on Didadit said, one of the things he said was, another amateur radio site? Really? Seriously? And I was like, well, yeah, we do it differently. And I think there are people out there that like it done differently than the status quo. And I think that we have something that people will be interested in. But told him that basically. It's like, yeah, give it a try. What the hell? It doesn't really cost anything to do. And make a lot of new friends and share information and enjoy the hobby more. But anyway, the one thing, the positive thing that he did say was, love the name. He got it. That made me feel really good, because CW was, or Morse code, the CW was very popular back in the days that it was required to get the license. But maybe not so popular now, because it's not a requirement. You can still send and receive Morse code, but why would you do that when you can talk? Well, it's more of a challenge. People build trains and towns and train towns in their basement. Why? Well, it's challenging. They like the sense of accomplishment. It's a hobby. They enjoy it. So that's kind of like what Morse code is now on the ham bands. It's a hobby thing. And by the way, it is the most efficient way to communicate over long distances, because it requires the least amount of power and radio propagation to get the signal from one place to another. I don't know if you recall or not. I know I've gone really deep in this rabbit hole, this amateur radio rabbit hole, and this is a Jeep podcast, but I'll just mention this. If you go and watch the old Will Smith movie Independence Day, there is a scene in there where they talk about amateur radio operators, where they're coordinating this worldwide effort to bring down all these motherships. And they're doing it using Morse code. And they went with Morse code because that was the mode of communications that was least likely to be disrupted by the aliens' blocking system, their jammers. And that was probably factually correct. If it ever gotten to that point, that probably would be the only way that we would be able to get anything through. More than likely, it would need to be wideband, wide spectrum type stuff. But anyway, that was pretty cool. And as an amateur radio operator, of course, I saw that and I went, yeah, look at that, man! Amateur radio operators, all right, saving the world. And actually, that kind of happens from time to time. Not really saving the world, but maybe saving a life or two whenever there's disasters. And if you've never listened, I'm sure most of you have listened to CB radio. I don't know how many of you have listened to 2-meter ham radio. CB is AM, and you have an AM radio in your Jeep, and if you have ever listened to an AM radio station during a thunderstorm, you know how much noise the thunderstorm makes on AM radio. AM radio, the type, it's a mode of a transmission of data, of information across a frequency. AM is very susceptible to electrical noises, and lightning is an electrical noise. Any kind of electrical motor coming on and off can generate electrical noise, and AM is very susceptible to picking that up. FM, on the other hand, you know, the good time FM radio, the stereo that you listen to, FM is not likely to pick up that electrical noise. It's less likely. And as an amateur radio operator, when you get a technician license, you can send and receive audio over FM, 2 meter, 70 centimeter. There's various bands, but the most popular one is generally 2 meters. And you can get on the 2 meter band, and you can talk to people using FM. And FM is great. It's nice. It's quiet. There's not a lot of people clamoring for the space on the frequency, and you can actually have a conversation with somebody. And basically, you could be out on the trail, and with the radio squelched so that you hear no background noise, until your buddy gets on his 2 meter ham radio and says, hey, we're going to head back to get a bite to eat. Why don't you come over there? Or better yet, hey, I just flipped. Can you get your ass over here and help me out? So it makes it really nice because you hear what the person has to say, and you don't have to listen to a lot of static in the meantime. And 2 meter radios you can get them on eBay for $100, and that's like a 50-watt mobile radio. They're very small in size, very easy to install. Oh, and I didn't mention the antennas are at least 6 feet shorter than the CB antennas, if you're using a full-size CB antenna. And if you're using one of the short ones, like one of the 4-foot whips, you can put a 2 meter antenna, full quarter wave 2 meter antenna on your Jeep that most people would never even see. They're only about 1.5 feet long, and they're very, very, very thin. So you don't have to worry about whipping somebody in the head with it that may be watching you go up a embankment or crawl over rocks because you're whipping the Jeep around. Ain't going to happen. If you mount that 2 meter antenna in the middle of the roof where it should be, the only thing that's going to impact that is, frankly, the Jeep when you roll it over. If you roll it over. Don't roll it over. I don't like that. I don't like it when Jeeps roll. It's interesting to watch, but it hurts me. I have a Jeep, and I don't want it to roll, and I hate it when I see other people's roll. But anyway, that's my problem. So anyway, if you have time, and please visit xjtalk.com and visit one of our other sites, our sis Jeep site, wranglertalk.com. And if you're at all interested in amateur radio, please come over and join us in this conversation at didadit.com. And actually, I'll put the websites in the show notes, because I'm thinking that didadit.com might be a little hard to understand if you're not an amateur radio operator. And by the way, even if you're not an amateur radio operator, just like the Jeep sites, don't have to have a Jeep. Well, you don't have to be an amateur radio operator, and you don't have to have a ham radio. Just come over, join us, and post up questions. Happy to let you know. We've got a few members over there on didadit.com, and they've asked some questions about various radios, and several people that are Jeepers that are interested in ham radio, and hopefully they'll be getting their their licenses pretty soon. So we recently had a XJ Talk member and moderator decide that he was going to sell his beloved green Jeep XJ. And, you know, I don't know if you guys know about the red versus green Jeep rivalry that we have going on xjtalk.com, but you know, it's all good-natured, so I don't really care. I have a red Jeep, and the moderator that recently, well, he joined the dark side because he hasn't sold his beloved green Jeep XJ yet, but it's on the market. And I think he just got tired of you know, dealing with some of the issues that he was having from off-road. He's a hard off-road wheeler, so I think it was just time for him to make a change. And what he did was he went and got a Jeep TJ, and so I don't have any problem with having a person that knows about Jeep Cherokees as a moderator on xjtalk.com, and you know, still willing to be a moderator and help. So whenever he was offering up his resignation, I and the other moderators said, "No, man, you need to stay." Well, we also made him a moderator over on Wrangler Talk. So you'll see Wayne Cantab 27 from Christchurch, New Zealand, on both sites. So if you have a TJ, a JK, or a YJ, you might want to come visit us over at wranglertalk.com. Post up your pictures. Tell us what you're doing. Maybe you've got some questions about things. I'm learning about the TJ finally because it's been my wish to get a TJ. Actually, you know, I've mentioned it several times here. Actually, we were getting ready to buy a TJ whenever we went ahead and decided to get the XJ instead because of it having the 4 doors and still being a 4-wheel drive. Oh, and most importantly, it's still being a Jeep. And I was very, very lucky that I was able to find a red TJ. Because why? I knew that the Jeep gods were going to lay out a beautiful, very inexpensive green Jeep TJ for me to buy, and I was just going to have to walk away from it because there's just no way in the world I could get a green Jeep with all the green Jeep red Jeep rivalry going on xjtalk.com.
Oh, red Jeeps are sexy.
Yes, they are. I have to agree with you there. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with green Jeeps. There really isn't. So if you've got a green Jeep, don't feel bad. I'll never make you feel bad about it. Well, I won't make you feel much bad about it. So, anyway, it's kind of interesting that the TJ that Wayne got is not really green. I guess it's kind of green. It's kind of a blue-green. It's really pretty. I like Wranglers. Always have. And like I was telling somebody the other day, they were kind of trashing Wrangler owners. And like I was telling somebody the other day on the site, you know, the only reason why I have a Jeep Cherokee is because I went there to buy a TJ. I went there to buy a Wrangler. The only reason I went to go there to buy a Wrangler is because I see them. They're neat. They're neat vehicles. And I'm glad we got one. We picked up a 2003, I guess it's the model is an X, Wrangler X. And so I've been learning about TJs now because I've been doing modifications to that Jeep. That is my wife's Jeep, by the way. And I've been working on her about trying to get a lift kit installed. I was looking at a, gosh, what is it, a 4-inch? I think it's a 4-inch, yep, a 4-inch rough country lift. And I probably would have already gotten it, but I have so many things that I've purchased to put on my red XJ that I didn't want to have another box of stuff laying here waiting for me to do, me feeling bad that I'm not taking care of the Jeeps. And also too, as far as taking care of the Jeeps, I am doing the oil changes, getting tires put on them and everything else. So, you know, I'm keeping up with the important things. Oh, and my 18-year-old daughter just started driving on her own, and it's just hell. I mean, she's 18, she's an excellent driver, but you know, it's different with girls than it is with boys. Anyway, she just started driving herself by herself, and she's driving the 1999 Jeep Cherokee. So I can feel good that she's in a good, dependable vehicle, and that along with her cell phone, things should be pretty good. Yeah, it kind of dawned on me the other day. I think I was in the middle of a podcast that it kind of hit me that we're all Jeeps. That's all we have are Jeeps now. We had a Ford Mustang before, and I guess technically we still do. It's just up at M.S. Morenberg's shop. He's the other admin on xjtalk.com. Yeah, it's either got a cracked head or a blown head gasket. And I looked at how much it would cost to do and how much it would be to sell it. And it would be how much I'd be able to get for it if I sold it, and it just wasn't a break-even thing. So we're either going to part it out, or I think Matt may fix it. So we'll just have to wait and see how that winds up. I thought it might be a good vehicle. I was willing to fix it, replace the head or the head gasket in the head, and have it milled, whatever it took. I was willing to do that if my youngest daughter would be interested in driving it. She doesn't like the Mustang. And I thought that was kind of funny. Actually, my youngest daughter may be more of a Jeep girl herself, and I haven't told her, and I really haven't told the wife yet. I'll tell you guys. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a JK, an older Jeep for her. I think that might be kind of fun. Fun for her certainly, but also too fun for me because I get to see yet another model. Have intimate knowledge of another model of a Jeep. And I like the older Jeeps. I like the older Jeeps with the 4.0 liter engines. I know those. I know what to expect from them. And, damn good engine. So anyway, that's my life. That's my problems. It's really not much of a problem, is it? Yeah, we've been very fortunate this year that we've able to get that new Jeep Wrangler, bring up these new sites. Been very fortunate with all the new members that we have on xjtalk.com, and things are just going really well. I really hope 2012 isn't the end of the world because things are going well. I don't want to see it end. So if you got time, jump in. Have some fun with us. You can find us on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter. We're even on Google Plus now. And the Twitter and the Facebook, you can actually get some of the feeds coming from the xjtalk.com site or wrangler.com site or didadit.com site. They're all those websites, all those forums are also on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus. So just search for us on there and friend, follow, or I don't know, what's the other one? That sounds like a vulture. Friend, follow, or circle. I guess it would be add to your circles. So circle us like a vulture on Google Plus. And there's we got things coming up. We got things going on the site that you may find interesting. Things that are Jeep related. Things aren't Jeep related. Like I'm getting ready to put in a pan, tilt, zoom camera on my security system. Not because anything's bad around here in the neighborhood. It's just something fun to play with. And I think there's a lot of you out there that are the same way. Actually, I'm probably going to put that up on the ham site as well because that's a very electronic, gadgety type thing. Anyway, join us on one of our sites. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, or Google Plus, and we'll catch you on our next podcast. Hopefully, very, very soon. Oh, and of course, have a very, very happy and profitable new year.
We welcome and look forward to your questions and comments. Dial 530-675-4102 and leave your message on our 24/7 voicemail.